YouTube, how are y'all doing? Happy New Year. I hope everyone is blessed and highly favored. The devil is still a liar and a hater, and I just want to encourage people out here because with these jobs, they just be on some bullshit for real, especially if you work for the Department of Education. And when I'm completely done with them, I'm going to have a whole series because it's so many things that I've gone through, and I feel like people need to be warned. I think I said in a previous video, I wish that every parent could be a parent for a week, just so you could see what goes on, from parents being inappropriate with the kids, to teachers being weird, to principals that don't give a fuck and worried about the wrong things. It's really crazy. And like I told y'all, I am a substitute para, and it's a blessing because if I don't like a school, I get to leave. I don't have to stay and pull up with the nonsense. So recently, because I'm normally at junior high school and high schools, so I was at an elementary from last year March, and it was fine until this September, and the behaviors just got too crazy, and I left and went to a school in my neighborhood that was 10 times worse, and now I'm going to a junior high Monday. Your girl and it's not just me. It's a lot of teachers going through it. They be leaving and bouncing around, but it's not just one particular school. It's a departmental issue. From admin to, it's just so much that goes on, and it's I'm determined to get a new job this year. I'm not going to turn nothing down no more. So I'm going to just get into my topic of the day. So those of y'all who watch Tubi, all my Tubi fans, I'm talking about another movie, Tubi. Kamal Smith, shout out to him. He is very talented. He is a writer and a producer. And I wanted to talk about two movies that I saw, two new movies that he has out. And I just wanted to ask my viewers, what would y'all do in the situation? So the first movie I saw yesterday was The Wrong One, right? So I feel like that was her karma. So basically the movie is about a woman. She's in a club with her girls, but she separates herself and she goes to the bar and she meets an architect. Now he is a wonderful man, very romantic, very handsome, very successful. She works for corporate, right? So 2 minutes later, I think he goes to the bathroom, and then his friend Kamal Smith, he plays the unemployed homeless homeboy, because that's what he is. He used to write songs for different artists, but right now he's unemployed. They didn't specify if he got unemployment or not, but basically he's unemployed and homeless, right? So she's dating the architect dude for 2 months. So in 2 months, somebody's going to catch feelings, either the girl or the guy or both. So in this case, the guy, the architect, he caught feelings. And I wanted to let y'all know, men and ladies, so Kamal Smith plays the hater. The whole time he's telling him, because they went out on 2 dates. And so he decided to have a game night, and he told her to bring her girls. So Kamal is like, y'all just hung out yesterday. Do you think you should be doing that? He was like, you think it's too much? So that's a red flag. If your friend is kind of hating on your situation for no reason, that could be a red flag that they trying to sabotage, right? So, and so the architect, he didn't see that as a red flag, but that is, because why is you hating, right? So they have game night, and the girls meet the guys and everything. They have a good time. And so the girl, that's dating the architect, she drops her phone and they start staring into each other's eyes, and the friend walks in. So she asks her, she's like, yo, are you feeling him or you feeling his friend? Like, who do you want to be with? And to me personally, I feel like that's messed up for the simple fact that you already started a relationship with this man. Even though they didn't make it official, he actually wanted to make it official with her. But I'm going to get to that. So, you know, you're dating someone for 2 months. You're spending time with each other. They may or may not have slept together because they're coming over to each other's houses. Like, it's intense. Like, some people, when they date for 2 months, just getting to know a person, they don't really spend a lot of time with them depending on schedules. But these people, you know, he's giving you a lot of his time. He done invited you to the house. He's introducing you to his friends. That shows a man that's very interested in you. So basically, he makes the mistake of telling his boys that he gonna make it official with her. Of course, Kamal, he's being negative, like, oh, da da da. So again, red flag. So he decides to make it official with her, like to ask her to be his girlfriend. So he wants it to, he's a gentleman, so he wants it to be a perfect night. He wanted to get wine. So since his friend that was living with him, because she was like, oh, is that your roommate? He's like, no, he just living here, implying that he's not even giving him rent. So he really is this homeless guy, like don't have a place to stay. He would have like little gigs here and there, you know, at bars, but no steady work. So any normal woman would be turned off at the fact that you living in your boy house, you're not paying him no rent. That alone would turn off any woman. But for her, I guess she likes bums, right? So he goes off to get the bottle of wine, right? So he's like, oh, keep her entertained. Now she does say, let me come with you. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna run to the store real quick or whatever. So he goes to the store, but then he circles back because he forgot his wallet and his phone. So he comes back and they're kissing. That is so trifling on both ends, because as a friend, he's giving you a place to stay rent-free and you have nowhere to go. So it's like, why would you do that as a friend? And then what makes it more fucked up is he knew how his boy felt about her. It's not like that was their first date and he brought her to the crib and whatever. No, he sat there and told you he was going to ask her to be his girlfriend. Like, you knew how your boy felt about her and you still did that. Like, no, that's not right. And so, and she's trifling because how you going to kiss his friend in his house? And he went off to get you a bottle of wine. This dude haven't done nothing for you. Like, on both situations, it was messed up. So naturally, he come back, he kicks both of them out, because who does that? So she's driving in her car. This nigga don't even have a car. He walking. So he don't have a car. He doesn't have a place to live and don't have no job. And she's driving and she picks him up. She tells him, get in. So I just want you to picture what type of self-centered, and it says it on a thing, self-centered woman, right? What type of person is that? Like, you coming on, you're not even sorry for what you did because you see him walking and you invite him inside your car. Then, instead of like her driving him to like wherever, you know, they drive to her house. And he says it. He's like, yo, I shouldn't be here. This is not right. So she's like, no. Takes him upstairs and they have sex, right? Trifling. And they show how this nigga only took her to the movie. So it shows you she went from a successful architect with his own house, handsome, treating her like a queen. She traded that for an unemployed musician who was homeless with no car. I need y'all to understand this, because you have women out here who don't want a good man. The same way you have men who don't want a good woman, you have women that they want to be with a man that they have to take care of. Why? I don't understand it. I was never that type of female, not even as a teenager or young adult. I was never attracted to bums. Like, if you don't have a job, it's like, why? If you don't have a job, you should be in school, period. When I was unemployed, I was always in school. And I had my son I had to take care of. And that was like the busiest time for me. Because between job hunting, school, and trying to find an apartment, yeah. Do we all hit hard times? Yes. But you should be job hunting. That nigga wasn't even job hunting. So it's like you unemployed and you comfortable because you living in a house with your friend. So for her to take him on, and then he's a nigga, so you know what he did? He moved in with her because he didn't have no place to stay. He got kicked out, remember? So she was just stupid because you think that this guy is with you. He with you because he need a place to stay. That's why he moved in with you. And it's like it was either to live with you or be homeless, for real, for real. So like the whole scenario is like, it shows a woman who self-esteem is so low. She probably knew or felt like she didn't deserve the architect. Though she be corporate herself, that's another thing. This woman owned her own home and worked in corporate, but she was attracted to the dude who had nothing. I want y'all to really pay attention to that, right? So she's taking care of him and she's happy. She's not telling him to get a job, nothing. Like, she's actually happy with the situation. He cooks for her, and so that's what she was happy about. That he was cooking breakfast and dinner for her. They went to the movies, and she was happy with that. Like, you know, whatever. And so she decides to go out with her friends. Her friend is like, yo, we haven't seen you in a month. Like, what's going on? She's like, she got with old boy, whatever. And they're inseparable. So her friend is like, well, you need to come hang out with us because we haven't seen you in a month. So she tells him, he's like, oh, I cooked dinner. And she's like, I'm going to go out with my friends and I'm going to eat when I come back. Just heat it up for me in the microwave. And yeah. So he punches her like, bam. And that's the first time he hits her. And he's like, I said I cooked dinner. So that's when he starts to abuse her. And I guess he made himself the unemployed bum, because in most domestic violence situations in the black community, it usually is from a guy who has nothing. It usually is a guy who's living with his girlfriend most of the time. Now, not saying that professional men don't abuse too, but most men that's in a profession, they have something to lose. So they're not going to, if they do abuse their women, they're going to be discreet about it. They're not going to, you know, but men like him are prone to more violence because they have nothing to lose, right? So that's typical. Like, he living in her house, he don't have a job. So yeah, he at that point resents her. Because that's what normally when a man don't have nothing, and like I said, a man can still hit you even though, but most of the time when men hit women, it's because they resent them, right? So he started hitting on her, whatever, and it's sad because she don't even defend herself. Finally, the friend, he still has feelings for her, which is different. I thought it was bros before hoes, but so he sees her in a parking lot and he's like, yo, what's good with you? I didn't mean no disrespect, but I was just checking up on you. So he's like, why are you scared of him? So I guess he had a gut feeling something was wrong. So he pops up at her house and he's like, yo, is he hitting on you? Like, cause he's like, yo, why are you scared of him? So he busts in the house and then dude shoots him. And it was sad because it's like this guy opened his home to you and you took his girl and you shot him. It just shows you like he was never his friend, because it would have never, since the 4th grade, it would have never came to that. Like, you betrayed him in the biggest way. You knew how he felt about that girl. It's not like he was just having sex with her and that was that. Like, no, he was taking this girl out on dates. He was, whining and dining her. He told you that he was going to ask her to be his girlfriend. So why would you kiss her? That's messed up. You should have pulled away, like, nah. Because that's my whole thing. Like, he knew how he felt about her. So, and then it's like, you was living in his house rent free and you going to do that? And then you shoot him? It just shows the evilness of a person, And so she ends up killing him because she's defending herself at this point. She stabs him. And then she shoots him like 3 or 4 times. And then in the end, she's in a group saying she was a domestic violence survivor. And it ends on that note. But when you watching the movie, you don't think it's going to end up like that. And that's what I love about Kamal Smith as a writer. Because when you watch the movies, you never think it's going to end up the way it does. Right? Now, another movie he did, I'm in Love with a Stripper. I thought that movie was going to be straight ghetto, but it was. But it was not, I should say. It was not ghetto. And it ended on a really good note. Even though I think he was stupid. But what y'all think? So, comment, like, and subscribe if you are a good Kamal Smith fan. He also, the first time I seen his movies was A Good Man and A Good Man Part 2. A Good Man Part 2 is really, really good. And the girl who plays the detective in A Good Man 2, she plays a stripper in I'm in Love with a Stripper. So, I'm in Love with a Stripper, she plays the girl named Corey. And Corey is a best friend to the main character. And she encourages her to strip. She's like, you know what? Just make enough money for you and your daughter to bounce back until you find a job. And that was the plan. So while she's stripping, she meets this man of her dreams. He's a businessman. He's not a weirdo. Because you got successful men that be weirdos. But he's a good guy. Very good man. And that's what I love about Kamal Smith. He brings that out. There are good. It gives me hope. Yes, there are good black men in the world. Some of them are weird, but not all of them. So he's a good man. He's a God-fearing man on top of that. He's handsome. And so she doesn't tell him that she's a stripper. She tells him that she's a dance teacher, right? So she keeps that secret, and then her baby daddy pops up, and he's like, yo, where's my money? So he catches her in a strip club, and he asks her a good question, like, if you stripping and you making all this money, why you got me on child support? Now, me personally, I feel like a woman has a right to put a man on child support if she's struggling. That's my opinion. I feel like if you're struggling and your child don't have necessities like uniforms, like you struggling to buy things for your child, then yes, you should put them on child support. But I feel like if you make a decent salary, I don't feel like you should, because it's like, that's like getting food stamps, but you could afford food and you're ordering DoorDash every night. DoorDash is expensive, right? But if you're ordering DoorDash every night, but you got food stamps, that's like you being greedy and taking from the government. That's how I see it. So if you're a successful stripper and you making all this money, why is he on child support, right? That's just like with any profession. If you're a successful doctor or lawyer, should the father pay child support? That's my question for you subscribers. Comment, like, and subscribe. So for the first question I have, for the wrong one, is it okay to date a man's friend if you never made it official? For me, I think that's dead wrong, because feelings, you spent his money, you spent time with him, and I think if y'all only went on one date, it's fine. But the fact that he caught feelings and y'all spending all this time, no. And of course, it's dead wrong to kiss him, and that's his friend's house. That was trifling as hell. But some people might say it as, well, they wasn't together, so it's fine. So I want to know what y'all thinking. And also with I'm in love with a stripper, would you date someone that lied to you about their profession? Now, for me personally, I've told y'all my stories on this channel, and I don't like liars. I don't care what you lie about, because if we're getting to know each other, the foundation of our relationship or whatever we're trying to build, it cannot be a lie. Because my experiences, once a person lies to you one time, they continue to lie. I've yet had a person lie to me about something one time. Anybody who's ever lied to me, it was continual lies. They lied about other things as well too. I'm not talking about when you were a kid and you may lie about how big your home is or if your parents are together or not. I'm not talking about when you're a child and you may lie. I'm talking about grown-ass adults that's lying about what they do for a living. Remember I told you in a previous video, I had a guy, and that was a first. A guy lied to me and say he had a job when he really didn't. Because I was like, are you feeling me or not? Like, he wasn't calling me, and I brought that to his attention, like, why you don't call me? Then a whole month we were talking, and I'm like, okay, so you're not gonna ask me on a date either? So then he finally come clean and is like, oh, I don't have a job. You have some source of income, because the day we met at that party at Brooklyn Academy of Music, you was buying yourself drinks. He didn't offer me a drink, but I remember he was buying himself drinks. Like, he had at least 3 or 4 or 5 drinks. So you have some source of income. You could buy yourself drinks, but you can't take me on a date, but you claim you're interested. I'm not understanding. You know. So I think that's very important. Like, you have to be truthful in the relationship in the beginning, you know, what you do for a living, because I feel like if you lie about that, what else could you be lying about, you know? Also, she had her baby daddy popping up. He got into a fight with this man, and I know if I was his friend, I'd be like, nah, leave her alone. She got too much drama going on. Like, and then like they get back together because Kamal Smith plays the friend. And so he's like, give her a chance, you know, she only went into stripping. He was like, he found out from Corey. So the same lady that was in A Good Man 2 playing a detective, she plays Corey in I'm in Love with a Stripper. So he's like, oh, Corey said that she does the bare minimum in the club. She doesn't go to VIP. And when they came to a party in his house, she kept her clothes on and left. You know, so letting him know, like, she's not a sleazeball. She's just out here trying to make money for her daughter or whatever. And so they get back together because of Kamal, and he gets shot by her baby daddy. Like, this dude almost dies. And then 6 months later, he proposes to her. So it ended on a good note as far as she got a stepfather for her daughter, and they get engaged, you know. But I want to ask the fellas, would you date a woman that her ex shot at you and you almost died? Most people would say hell no, but you have some people that a chick stabbed them and they stick around, you know. So what is your limit, fellas? I feel like for most men, they would be, first of all, once they found out that she was a stripper, it would have been a dub. Like, no, it's not the fact that you was a stripper, because everybody have a past. It's the fact you lied. So it's like, what else are you gonna be lying about? Because like I said, with my experiences, people just don't lie one time about something. They continue to lie, whether it be in a friendship, a relationship. A liar just keeps lying. They don't just say one lie. You know, it's like a habit for them. Like speaking Spanish, you know, or speaking French. It's literally like a language for them, and it's very natural. you know. So for me, I wouldn't trust it. And then he takes her back and gets shot at and almost dies in the hospital because of her? No. Nah. And the story is so unique because she wasn't messing with him. The baby father was just mad because he put him on child support, you know. So that's the question of the day. Do you think a successful stripper should put her child's father on child support? And this is not just strippers, but say if a woman is a successful teacher. Teachers in New York City make up to 6 figures, in case y'all didn't know. So let's say if a woman that makes 6 figures, regardless of how she's making it, she could be a real estate agent, teacher, whatever. Should she take her child's father for child support? It's a real question. And my second question is, if you get beat up or shot at, would you take her back? To my fellas, right? And for the wrong one, was she wrong for getting into a relationship with a guy she was dating? They were never exclusive. He was going to ask her. But to my ladies, was she wrong for getting with his friend? To me, I think she was dead wrong, because it would have been different. Let's say if they dated and let's say you meet somebody today and you date them and it don't work out and y'all was never together, and then like a year later you date his friend. I think it's fine as long as there's a space in between. I feel like there needs to be space in between. For you to just get with him right after, that's not right. But it needs to be at least 2, 3, 4 years later, and then you get with his friend. But even then, for me personally, no, that's just nasty, because especially if it didn't work out with his friend for whatever reason, birds of a feather flock together. So whatever you don't like about the first guy, that's his friend. His friend is going to end up like him or worse, and in that case much worse. Like, you went from an architect to a bum, literally. This man had no job. He was a unsuccessful musician that he used to write for celebrities, but obviously not writing them. He wasn't writing for them then because he living with his friend. And to me, that's very unattractive. Like when I met my ex, he was living with his brother, but he was paying rent. He was giving him money. But if you meet a man and he living with somebody, he not giving them no rent, why would you want to be with somebody like that? Like, that don't make sense. And he wasn't even, it's not even like, oh, I'm living with my friend, but I put in some applications and I'm trying to get my own place. That wasn't what he was saying. He wasn't trying to get his own place. He wasn't looking for a job either. He was just performing in different clubs. That's not a job. It's not. That's a little side gig, but that's not a full-time job that's going to pay bills. It's not. You know, so what would you do, ladies? What would you do, fellas? The wrong one and I'm in love with a stripper. Comment, like, and subscribe.